Good afternoon, friends and fellow travelers. It's Brandon, and I have Ash and baby Shar with me today. We're visiting Spring Lake Park. I'm walking you through this clip because the wind was so bad that it completely drowned out my own voice. As you'll see in the title, um, it can be difficult at times to hear what I'm saying in this video, so I do apologize because the wind was heavy at times. Um, But we are getting mics very soon, and this video was recorded months ago, so I do apologize for that, friends. But today we're exploring Spring Lake Park and the Mississippi River Valley corridor, and I really hope you guys enjoy this. We had a great time, and we look forward to sharing this adventure with you. So let's see what we found here. The Spring Lake Park Reserve, Dakota County Forever Wild Parks, Spring Lake Park Reserve map. It's a little dated though. Shar's Bluff Trailhead is the one of note, and that's this right here. There's also a bridge I want to see. Mississippi River Greenway, Shar's Bluff Trailhead. There's a lot of different things to see. Simon's Ravine, Kaposia Landing. There's a lot of things we could look at in this area. All the way up from here where we are. And we've shown you up to Lock and Dam number 2. But there is so much to see. And we're gonna explore a little bit. Here's a sign you can see similar to where we were earlier in the earlier video. Dakota County Parks, Lock and Dam number 2, 4.8 miles that way. So we are upriver. Hastings is 6 miles away, friends. Let's see what kind of view we have here. It's not a terrible view from this raised location. You can't really see the water from here, but I've got some picnic tables. We can walk down here and take a peek at what we've got. Very warm day for, well, not very warm, but 70s, and a nice day to explore another Minnesota area. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. Very cozy area, friends. Very well maintained. There's another parking lot. There's a shelter that way. It's like some restrooms. Very nice out here today. There's a good breeze. This is just near the picnic. It's like they're way down here. I'm starting to come up and see what we have down there. It's a nice looking area. Let's see what we got. Lunch though. Very windy today. I like that the foliage is starting to come in. There's a building there. Some kind of an interpretive center. This is the Shar's Bluff Gathering Center. They've got some maps of all the regional parks and trails. Ash is getting into the vending machine they have. If you stood on Shar's Bluff thousands of years ago, you would have seen Native American camps up and down the river's edge. Their fires were beacons in the night. You are as much a part of it as anyone or thing has ever been. When the first residents came to Nininger in the 1850s, some believed the fledgling town would become a great city. Nininger. Lock and Dam number 2 was constructed in 1928. And friends, today we have Ash and baby Shar. There's baby Shar, and there's Ash. She got me a soda. On the family farm. The Shar family bought this land in 1899 after Nininger went bust. You guys can pause there and read it. Cool sign there. They have the rivers it looks like, on the ground here. Cannon River, Vermilion, Minnesota, Minnehaha, Mississippi River, of course, connecting all the north latitude of this spot. St. Paul, of course, that you guys are very familiar with watching our channel. And this is the Shars Bluff gathering place that I shared with you. This is the outside of the building. It's a pretty cool structure. But the inside was reserved. Great lawn ceremony venue. Permit required. And it's not a bad little spot for a picnic, really. And not a bad trail so far. There's lots of Dakota County parks and trails, of which there are a ton of maps in that gathering place that we were just at. There's something right here. I don't exactly know what this bridge is for, but we'll come around and take a look at it. This is a really expansive area, the Dakota County Park System, one that you could spend quite a bit of time at if you wanted to. They have lots of trails, and as you saw in the past clip, there are a lot of different areas that you can explore. The other thing that I learned, friends, is that they just reintroduced a bison herd to Spring Lake Park. And that was in 2022, and that's expected to grow up to about a head count of 15 bison now. That's just a little gorge here. It goes down by the river, out that way. Quite a drop off there. Water probably flows down through there pretty good when it's raining. Nothing crazy this direction.
Some ticks.
Yeah, I think we'll take the paved trail today that goes closer down by the river. River stories. Mighty waters. Now here is the mighty Mississippi, friends, that we've seen from a couple different angles, including in Iowa from Pikes Peak State Park in the wintertime. Oh, is it mighty from this spot? What a vantage point from here. And you can see just how swiftly it's moving down there. That water really is moving pretty hastily today. You see a few boats down there. Looks like a nice area though to visit and explore. Definitely. Mississippi River here, north of Hastings. So this is the actual trail that we're walking along. It's paved and basically a tall grass prairie right next to us between here and the parking lot. And over to the other side, of course, is the Mississippi, just through that tree line that we just looked at. Ash and baby Char just up there. This is the first time we've come to this park. We've been on part of this trail before, though, down in Hastings. Namely, we walked through Lock and Dam number 2, and now probably going to go the other direction today a little bit. Again, you can see expansive views. Mississippi River this direction. That's back the way we came. Very peaceful little campground. Place to picnic and grill. They have public grills out here. Nice little spot, especially with these warmer temperatures. I mean, you can sit with a view of the Great River. Bathrooms over here to our right. I think that Dakota County has done a really nice job with their parks. From our exploration from Vermilion Falls Park to Hastings and walking along the Mississippi Greenway there that you guys have seen with us. And then now to Spring Lake Reserve with the commanding views of the Mississippi River from an elevated perspective. I mean, you guys can look around here. It's not a bad place to sit and have a picnic, enjoy the day, bring the kiddos. Lots of hiking opportunities. And Ash said we should have brought a picnic. That's the thing that we always do, is we think about these things in retrospect. Welcome to the West Shelter. You're invited to use this shelter today. And of course, you can reserve all of these areas. They have a nice little bridge over here. Several different parking lots also to choose from. Looks like a larger fire pit there as well. Very peaceful place, the bird song in the background. The wind is a little heavy today because it's going to blow in some storms later tonight. But ultimately, a peaceful spot, a nice little bridge. And you really truly feel at peace in this location. You can look off into the woods on this side. Very peaceful. We'll see what we can find, friends. Another trail goes off that way. They've got some sand volleyball courts going in that direction. I mean, from this aspect, there are a lot of different walking paths. Some paved, some not. They have a nice playground here. The boys would love it. I mean, and you can look out into the field up there. They've got a bench over there. So there are a lot of trails that you can walk on in this park. And I want to go the other way on the Mississippi Greenway and see what's up that way. But not a bad little prairie view, my friends. Charlotte's going to swing for a little bit, and then we'll see what we can find. You can see, friends, the same trail that we did in Hastings, Mississippi River Trail Nininger. We're going to head to the Bluff Bridge, at least. Spring Lake Park West Trailhead, 4.3 miles. Shars Bluff Trailhead. We walked part of that Shars Bluff Trail. But I want to see if this Bluff Bridge is anything of note, since it's marked on these trail signs, so we'll see. We're heading towards Bluff Bridge, which is approximately 0.9 miles from where we're parked, which is right behind us, since we took a little walk around Shars Bluff there. And this is a beautiful prairie. Here in a, month and a half, 2 months, this is all going to be wildflowers. There's a trail that cuts through the prairie right there. It's going to be all colorful wildflowers and everything. So, beautiful area. Looks like this other side, they did a prescribed burn of some kind. But on the way to Bluff Bridge, a beautiful prairie this way. Trail just cuts right through the land. It really feels like it's laid on top of it rather than cutting through the lands. Windy day, but it's warm. It's a welcome change. And you can see parking lot's just right there. I mean, it's not a far walk at all. So we'll see what Bluff Bridge has for us. You can't really see the river from here, but it is a cool view from an elevated perspective at the valley, because we are higher. And then there's an old farm here that is now used by Dakota County Parks. You can definitely see where they did that prescribed burn. But it's a cool perspective. We just walked pretty, I mean, not a very high incline, but steadily uphill to get up here to this elevated perspective that we're looking at. Park signs just down there. And the prairie is back to our right. Not a bad place, friends. I thought that was pretty cool to see that elevated perspective. Lots of birds out. And there always is the chance that you see bison in this area because of the natural bison habitat, or I should say, reintroduced bison habitat. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for bison out here. I'll let you know what we find. Spring Lake Overlook over to our right, along with another area to picnic. It's all been paved, friends, so that's nice. Maybe Char's taking a nap. Let's walk around over here to the overlook and see what we have. Well, this is going to be pretty cool. You can already see it starting to develop, friends. Oh, wow. Look at that. Sure is beautiful. Minus that plant in the background. That's a pretty area. Spring Lake and the Mississippi right over there. You can see for quite a long distance. It is a beautiful spot. Just think we're not even that far from the parking lot. And here we are at such a postmark Minnesota location. Minnesota has a lot of those gems, friends. See if we can gander out a little bit over this way. What can we see? Boats out there. Just gives you a minute to just take a breath and just relax. Follow the river. The journey south begins in the crisp fall air. Thousands of birds travel to the mouth of the Mississippi and beyond for a warm winter home. Pelicans, eagles. Look up, can you spot the difference? You see a little bit of a view that way. Almost like a bluff. It sure is beautiful, friends. We'll continue to Bluff Bridge. That's a spot that was worth seeing. Continuing on down the trail, there's a nice bridge coming up. Wonder what these pillars signify. That is a sign, but it says the rock outcrop behind you is older than the dinosaurs. A shallow sea covered this land millions of years ago. As the water receded, small fossils of marine animals hardened into limestone. As Ash points out, it is rock outcrop there. Could be fossils, absolutely, as she says. Really has turned into a really scenic area. Not that far from Hastings, Minnesota, friends. I mean, just a few miles up the road. Looks like a pretty cool bridge coming up, we'll see in just a couple of minutes. Lots of bikers out on this trail, understandably, with it being paved. And this was free to stop at Spring Lake Park in Nininger, Minnesota. It's a free park at Char's Bluff on the shores of the Great Mississippi River. The rock wall next to us has gotten pretty tall as we get close to the bridge here. You can see there's almost a second layer up there. And they said there's always the potential to find fossils in these rocks. This is a really cool area. People have stacked the rocks on top of each other, just like Ash is doing right now. Let's see what she comes up with. Oh. What a backdrop though, the Mississippi and Spring Lake. If only we could find some bison. That would be the icing on the cake for this location. And of course we can come back and go further up the park system. And there you have it. She's got it. Even put the small one on the top. There's the finished product, friends. She always was an artist. Maybe Char's napping and the wind just blew that top rock off. But here comes the bridge, friends. We'll see what we've got. This must be Bluff Bridge, friends. It says Ravine Bridge 1 mile. Spring Lake Park West Trailhead 3.4, as you guys can see there. But here we go. Walking away from those rocky outcrops. This is a cool bridge. And there's a spot for you to stop halfway through and take a gander and kind of start to see what we're going to have as a view. Can't really see because of that big tree branch right there. But we'll see what we've got here. I'm pushing the stroller. And here we go. Yeah, you can feel it. It's like a swinging bridge, friends. Way down there. You can see a little bit of the Mississippi in the distance, and the bridge is moving. That's quite the ravine there. Ears and eyes. Where did it land? What time of year? Birding takes a little practice, but anyone can do it. Listen closely, look up and around, find clues all around you. That's how I imagine myself, friends, when I'm older. Birding. Looking out the other side. Very woodsy right now. Bluff Bridge. Cool spot. And the rocks that way. We'll walk over to the other side and then I'll look back for you so you can see. I don't know if I'll get a sideways view of this bridge. But nonetheless, a cool spot. In an area that's been pretty full of surprises for Ash and me. And like I said, this trail, this long-standing trail system continues for miles. I mean, it goes all the way. The overlook, 0.3, Spring Lake Park, Char's Bluff, 0.9. And downtown Hastings is 6.9 miles away. Just about 7 miles to Hastings. So, there's the bridge. What an area. Some kind of a rocky road this way. The trail continues off to the left here. No parking signs all over. Interesting. It's like a rocky road. Continuing towards Ravine Bridge. That's the next step on the trail. But
okay, sounds good. Thank
some
you.
pretty dense woods over to the side. That was just kind of odd that, I mean, now the trail has become, there's an eagle up there, the trail has become very quickly much more isolated, because we're only about maybe a mile and a quarter from where we parked. We're not very far, truly. But it's become pretty isolated now, so that's kind of nice when you're in the cities or you're trying to get away for a little bit. It's a good escape. Flowers are starting to pop up too. That's welcome. So, pretty interesting. It's all paved though. This whole trail coming out of Hastings is paved, and Hastings is over 7 miles back, so that's always great for anybody that's avid biking, or if you are looking for a long hike to explore the sights of the Mississippi River. It's always nice as well. When erosion cuts too deep, the ravine in front of you is one of the two along the bluff that were unstable. Spring rains falling on melting snowpacks and drenching summer storms produce torrents of water that carry great quantities of sediment down the ravine into these lowland woods. You can read the rest of that if you guys choose. You can pause there. So that's a ravine down there. And close to this Ravine Bridge that will probably be our turnaround point. But continuing along the trail. Winter Witch. The warty bark of a young hackberry changes to rough ridges as the tree gets older. Back into the woods, hackberry. The water's through there. We're coming up to our last destination for the day, which is Ravine Bridge, which would give us about a 4-mile total hike today. About 2 miles each way, and we still have to go back. Very peaceful out here. I was just saying, I feel so at peace. Just the occasional bicyclist, Ash and I and Charlotte, probably the only hikers that we've seen other than somebody that was trail running. But I imagine Ravine Bridge is up here around the corner. Very peaceful. And friends, here is Ravine Bridge. Spring Lake Park West Trailhead, 2.4 miles. So we wound up not even that far away from the West Trailhead. That's of the Spring Lake Park. Water. Another cool spot. And that's probably about how far we've walked today. Probably about 2 miles or a little more. because we did that little section earlier before we even started on this trail. It is definitely a ravine, and this does cross. Evergreen. It's okay, baby. Maybe Char's mad because Ash went to take a picture. So friends, this will come out after the Milwaukee video. And we're back to our regular schedule for content. Look down on the floor of the ravine below. There's a peculiar sight. Wet, squishy green, even in the dead of winter. You'll have to see it to believe it. Seepage meadow. Watercress is a hardy herb with a peppery flavor. So there is watercress. Very cool. As baby Char looks out with me. The other side of the bridge. And you can see we are 1.9 miles from Spring Lake Park, Char's Bluff trailhead, which is where we started. So total we're going to do about 4 miles today. We're about 8 miles from downtown Hastings. And that is the Ravine Bridge. Friends, we're only about 2 miles or so from the west trailhead at Spring Lake Park. I want to do a little research to see what else there is if we continue to go north here. Is there more to see in this direction? That is what I'm curious about. Makes me wonder. Very peaceful day. I'm glad that you all got to join us. We'll walk back through the ravine. Ash already started back. I told her I would join her here in just a minute. This is walking from the other side of the bridge. Very peaceful nature walk. You guys have been very boisterous in telling us that you guys do prefer our outdoors and nature experiences, so we have a lot more of that coming. There will still be some urban, some museum, some city that is going to be on this channel. It's something Ash and I love. It's something the kids love. So you will still see that. But we hear you. And we are going to do a vast majority of what you guys prefer and like. We have some Iowa trips coming up. We have Dubuque. We have Makokita Caves. We're going to probably put those two closely together. And Ash and I want to get to North Dakota as well. There she is walking with Char. We have a lot of stuff on our radar for future trips. And we may be looking at even making it to the Tetons this fall. But don't quote me on that yet. But you can ask Ash. She does want to get there, so we'll see what this all entails for us in the future. We have a lot of things planned, and we look forward to sharing all that with you. So now we're on the way back to the car, and we'll end things there. But what a great little adventure this was. I had no idea this trail was like this. Dandelion and a pretty purple out here on our way back. Some flowers starting to pop up. That purple is pretty. Goes well with the dandelion. And that's right next to this side road that we found. It goes along this trail. Cool little find. It's just nice to see life really picking up once again here in Minnesota and Wisconsin, our main two frequented states. Very welcome to see more summer-like temperatures. Back to this large section of prescribed burn by the Bluff Bridge. 0.9 miles from back where we parked. We'll take a walk across this one also. Cool bridges here along this trail. The Mississippi River Greenway is largely what this is called. Did we do the Spring Lake section? Most of it. Starting at Shar's Bluff, we walked almost to the west trailhead. One more look out. Very beautiful spot. I was very pleasantly surprised by this walk today. Shar's grumpy just because we did walk quite a distance today. Now here's that rock face again of limestone coming out from this side of the bridge. It is really immense right here. It does start to get smaller going this direction, but it's like 2 layers in this area. We'll be back shortly. However, a good section of this part of the trail is uphill, so it will take a little bit more effort. But it's another cool spot along this trail. And there's Ash's cairn, rock cairn. A sign of peace from one person to the next. And that one right there was not there, I don't think. With that larger rock on the bottom. On our initial pass by. Way back down the last hill to the car, you can see the wind is moving that tall grass methodically. Ash decided to take her shoes off and walk nomadically in her style, mainly because her feet hurt. If you know from our past travels, the theme with Ash is that she always wears the wrong shoes for our adventures. And the theme with me is that I never bring my hiking shoes or I forget them. So it's always something with shoes with us. But we did about a little over 4 miles today. That's a good walk. And now we're looking at the prairie view as we walk back to the car, which is right over there. I really enjoyed this spot, and I think the larger Mississippi River Greenway offers a lot for recreations outdoors. And I think that there's more. I've been looking into the Lebanon Hills Regional Park, which is another free park in Dakota County, Minnesota. Specifically, Ash and I have been looking into renting kayaks, which suggestions are that you can rent kayaks for as little as $12 an hour there. So a couple of 2-seated kayaks, some life jackets, and we might have an adventure with all 3 kiddos. It would sure be something to talk about from the summer adventures with the kids. You can see the old farm silo over there. As always, there's lots of things that Ash and I plan or intend to do. Now, if we get to all those this summer, I would be shocked because the things we plan, we get to maybe about half of them. Hey. Lots of bicyclists out. Coming back up to Shars Bluff now. Shars Bluff trailhead. And 4.8 miles to Lock-In Dam number 2 that we saw back when it was cooler. And Hastings downtown 6 miles. So about 2 miles each way for 4 miles, plus the distance that we just walked in and around this little park over here. So I would go with about 4.25 today. There at about. And it was a good adventure. I'm gonna put Charlotte over here by Ash to put in the car, and then I'll close the video with you guys. You can see there she is. And another long view of the valley. And man, is that one beautiful woman right there. Always got to make him smart. Be sure to leave that one in the YouTube video. I think our only regret for the day, folks, is that we didn't bring a picnic. That's it. Otherwise, it has been truly a great day. Walking back up here to where you can see the river in the background. And that's where I'll leave you guys. You want to say goodbye, honey, before I end it? And baby Shar. I hope you all enjoyed this adventure. As always, friends, I'll turn it around to me in just a minute when I get down here. If you guys enjoyed the content, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. They have lots of maps, regional trail maps, that again start all the way at C.P. Adams Park. And we have been down there. Been to Levy Park in our Hastings video. And Fahey Trailhead was where we were close to. Goes up to Pine Bend, Swing Bridge Park, Wakota Bridge Trailhead, Kaposia Landing, and Simon's Ravine. There are so many trails in this area. Otherwise, friends, I hope you enjoyed this adventure. We're going to explore more of this area, more of Dakota County parks. It really has been a great adventure. Let me turn it around on me here. Here I am. What an adventure it was today. Friends, if you enjoy our channel, we do now offer memberships. I am going to upload a members only short from this excursion today. But man, we have a lot of things planned for you. You can see the river in the distance. It was just nice to It's been great to get out. The Mississippi River today. I just wanted to say hi and put a face to the video. I didn't really share much my face in this video with you guys. Back to the mighty Mississippi. Friends, it's been a great adventure today. Consider this is just the beginning of our summer. Can't believe it's finally here. We have so much we're going to do. And I'm going to leave you, friends, the kiddos, Crash, Brandon, Winston's at home. We're going to catch you on our next adventure. We're here. We're excited about summer travels and things we have planned. It's just the beginning for us. As always, I'm Brandon. traveling, what tips would you give to get you on the next adventure?